Let's go to the Taco Bell hotline. It's time to go on the ice with the Texas Stars, brought to you by your Toyota dealers. I heard this man every time I went to the restroom at the Cedar Park Center last night because I was there live, and then when I went into the restroom, I got the play-by-play of the man himself, Josh Fisher, voice of the Texas Stars. Josh, how you doing?
I'm fantastic. How are you guys? Thanks for having me again.
And might I say that you sounded lovely.
And I was hearing it all night. Couldn't go to the bathroom without getting away from you, Josh.
Oh, I love it when people talk to me about how they hear me when they're going to the bathroom.
Yeah. No, it's true. Yeah, it's good stuff. All right.
Flattering. You can't get a compliment better than that.
Exactly. Man, you sound good in the restroom. All right, Josh, let's talk about last night. And we had a great time. Obviously, the outcome was not what was desired. But, wow, I mean, what incredible hockey, big hits. Chris Chelios on the ice for the Chicago Wolves. One thing I wanted to ask you about, though, was, Garrett Stafford is one of my favorite players for the Texas Stars. He's just a savvy defenseman. He's really quick. He's just smart. He plays great position hockey. He's suspended for 3 games, right?
Yeah, he's got tonight and Friday night to go. This thing goes 6. He'll be ready to go for Game 6, which would be Sunday in Chicago.
That is a big loss for the Texas Stars. Do you agree?
Yes, of course I agree. Anytime you lose a guy that's played 500 pro games and he's one of your better presence on your blue line, it's going to hurt. He's an offensive-minded guy. Very good on the power play, very good on the PK. He can play a little physical, too, if he needs to, but he's not, dirty physical.
Yeah, and that now, what was the circumstance? Because this happened up in Chicago. It was an elbow?
Yeah, it was an elbow. Kevin Dole for the Chicago Wolves is believed to be out for the rest of the series due to a concussion. He had his top bell rung, basically. Swung around one side of the net, and Stafford was coming around from the opposite side. And I think it was one of those things where Stafford knew he was going to hit him, and I think Dole kind of ducked and moved away a little bit, and I think Stafford basically reaction kind of a little bit, and caught him square with the elbow and knocked him silly.
Now, Josh, I gotta say this because I went to the game last night. I had a great time. My son had a great time, but I got confused. Now I know it chipped because they substitute without stopping. I kept thinking it was gonna be like basketball. A horn would sound and folks would switch, but the puck still in play.
They change. It's called changing on the fly. They just right in the middle of the game they will go. It's
I thought Chip made that up. He told me it was called changing on the fly.
Yeah, can you imagine if they did that in football or basketball?
Oh.
No.
Yeah,
it was crazy. They just keep going, and then they skate really fast for a few minutes, and then they go off, and another group goes on.
Yeah, that's one of the only sports where short and hard is a good thing.
Oh, yes. Josh Fisher, ladies and gentlemen, voice of the Texas Stars. We are on the ice with the Texas Stars, brought to you by your Toyota dealers. Playoff hockey resumes tonight and Friday night at the Cedar Park Center. Game 4 and 5 of this West Division Finals in the Calder Cup playoffs. Great action last night. Wattier was really bringing the thunder last night, Josh. And Jamie Benn, not quite the game maybe that he wanted to have, but what do you think needs to happen tonight for the Stars to get this victory?
Well, I actually think it's pretty simple. You got to stay out of the box. They had some really bad penalties last night that really haunted them. The two that really come to mind were the first period delay of games where they went to the glass and went up and over the glass and out of play. They came out with great energy. In the first 5 minutes, took a 1-0 lead, then they took all those penalties and just deflated themselves. Chicago 2 power play goals. The thing is that Chicago is very skilled, very good team. They can play both ends. They can play defense, offense, but they're very good offensively and very good on the power play. And that is where they make teams pay. They are clicking at nearly 35% in the playoffs on the power play. And a good power play in the regular season is between 18 to 22%, and they're at 35%. If you stay out of the penalty box, you keep them off the ice on their power play, and you stay 5-on-5. I think 5-on-5 Texas is, has a favorable matchup, but they got to stay out of the box.
No, that's a great call. And they at one point it was 5-on-3 and they gave up a goal and
they had 2 5-on-3s and you know another stat that 60 minutes of regulation play, 14 minutes of those 60 they played a man short. If you play 25% of any sport, any game minus a guy, you're going to struggle to win.
Yeah, that was a tough situation. And they're not an incredibly physical team, Chicago. They're great skaters and like you said, very offensive. And that's why it's probably important for Texas to hit them at every opportunity.
Yeah, the idea is, over a series you wear people down. Those little bruises that you get in Game 1 and Game 2, they become bigger bruises in Game 3 and Game 4 and so on. So, the harder Texas continues to play physically and hitting them, but you got to be smart. I think on the first power play goal that Texas had last night, or that Chicago had last night, one of the Texas defenders hit, and it opened up right in front of the net. So that's the thing about playoffs. I mean, we talked about Chris Chelios and, what a savvy veteran defenseman he is. I've heard a lot of our players tell me he's very difficult to hit. He's very good about, moving, getting out of the way. His vision on the ice, he knows where people are all the time, and he's very aware of what's going on. So, you want to play physical, but you got to do it at the right time and not pull yourself out of position and give up a scoring chance. Because these playoff games, one mistake can cost you 1-0, and that's it. And I expect it to be really tight tonight.
Well, and that's one final question, Josh. We're on the ice with the Texas Stars, brought to you by your Toyota dealers, and there are great ticket packages available for tonight's game, for Friday's game. Just go to TexasStarsHockey.com or pick up the phone and call 512-GO-STARS. Josh, why do you think Chris Chelios is still playing? We were sitting there watching him. He really is effective. He still is, and he took a stick to the face last night. That was another one of those penalties that you were talking about.
I created a 5-on-3. That one did.
Yeah, but he's still got it, and there he is. He's 48. He's on the Stanley Cup. Why do you think he's still playing?
He's in immaculate shape, and ultimately, he wanted to be in the NHL this year. He did actually get back up there. He played about 20 games with Atlanta, but he was born and raised in Chicago. He's a Chicago guy. I think if he loves the game. He's got a very deep passion for it. 48 years old, he's in immaculate shape. I mean, if you walked right by him, the guy's chiseled. He's in great shape. He does a great job of keeping himself in shape throughout the summer. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him play next year. But he's so smart about it too, in the way that he plays. Guys get older, they get smarter about the game to make up for what they lack physically that they don't have like they did when they were younger. So I think that's a big chunk of it. He's very, very smart player, obviously. 20-plus seasons in the National Hockey League, 1,600 games, 3 Stanley, a couple Norris trophies, and a bunch of All-Star games. The guy's a Hall of Famer. And, it's a great test for our players to play against a guy like that. And one of the matchups they've been doing is they've been throwing him out on the ice when Jamie Benn's been out there. And that's one of the things that's neutralized Ben a little bit here in the last 2 games.
Josh, great stuff. Have a great call tonight. The fans need to get out there and support their Texas Stars. And
you know what? It's going to be another great game. We had first 2 of the 3 went to overtime. You take out those 2 5-on-3 power play goals for Chicago, you got a tie game last night and probably more overtime. And I wouldn't be surprised if we go to overtime again tonight.
It's great stuff. Hey, Josh, really appreciate it, and we'll be listening to your call tonight.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right, Josh Fisher, voice of the Texas Stars, and, of course, you'll hear him right here, 104.9 The Horn, as they take on the Chicago Wolves tonight and Friday on the ice with the Texas Stars, brought to you by your Toyota dealers.